editing Amanda. I meant to say A Court of Mist and Fury. That is absolutely what I meant to say. I also needed to add on this list The Hob King. I don't know if you could say The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. It looks short, but I think it's over 400 pages, so that is on my list as well. And As She Ascends and Before She Ignites is also on this list. And then I don't think Gathering of Shadows is over 300, but the next one is A Conjuring of Light. That is definitely another big book I want to get into. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm sorry I'm going to put this in before you see the whole video, but I hope you enjoy it. See you in a little while. Hi, welcome back to Amanda's Bookish Adventures. Today we are going to be talking about some big tomes I want to read, like books over 400 to 500 pages. I do have a list, and some of them are put up on that shelf that I can't get, but I do have a stack and some written down, so we can talk about those. So I have 3 library books to talk about that I can extend, but that I really would like to get to. I have The Unbroken, and let's read what this is about. Tarian is a soldier, stolen as a child, raised and killed and died for the Empire. She owns loyalty to her fellow conscripts, but now her company has been sent back to her homeland to stop a rebellion, and the ties of blood may be stronger than she thought. Luca needs a turncoat, someone desperate enough to tiptoe the bank's edge between treason and order, someone who sways the rebels towards peace, while Luca focuses on what really matters, getting her uncle off the throne. Through assassinations, massacres in bedrooms, and war rooms, Tarian and Luca will haggle over price of a nation. But some things aren't for sale. So this was really popular. I think it came out in a book box or something. I did hear about this book from BookTube. So I really want to get into it really soon. I'm planning on trying to at least read the ones that I own from the library in October. So I'm going to go through that. I do have Son of a Storm. And these covers are really pretty. So this one is about... Let's see. In the city of Bassa, Denzo is clever. Denzo is a clever scholar on the curse of achieving greatness, only he doesn't want it. Instead, he prefers to chase the forbidden stories about what lies outside the city walls. The Bassa elite claim there is nothing of interest. The city of immigrants are sworn to secrecy. But when Danzo stumbles across a warrior wielding magic that shouldn't exist, he's put on collection course with Bassa's darkest secrets. Drawn into a city of hidden histories, he sets out on a journey behind the borders, and the chaos left in the wake of his discovery threatens to destroy the Empire. So I also found this one on BookTube. And so I think all 3 of the ones I'm going to talk about that are from the library, I found out on BookTube. So I also have The Jasmine Throne. And this one is about trapped in desperate brother with crumbling walls of an ancient temple. Princess Melanie dreams of vengeance. Forced to disavow her birthright, her power because of her past maidservant Priya's dreams of freedom. In a world beset by wild magic, turbulent uprising, and the destinies will become tangled, and together they will set an empire ablaze. I have to admit, each one of these covers are absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to talk about the other 2 here, and then I'm going to talk about the list. I do have other Sarah J. Maas books on this list that I want to finish. I want to finish the rest of the Throne of Glass series, and they're big too, but they're kind of put up. I believe I only have 3 books left. No, 4 books left of the Throne of Glass. But I have Crescent City, and I did start it, but I read that the sequel comes out in January, so I'm going to try to get this one in to read in December. Then I could read the books back to back. I was enjoying it. I got to page 100, but with her books. I like to read them back to back if I can. And her writing's really good, but it is kind of a new world. Even though it's fantasy, I would say I think it's something else, and it's not it's a new style of her writing, and I think I prefer the fantasy romance. This is a romance with fantasy, but I think I can't even think of the genre that it's with, but it's set in a city and it's more modern times, and it's not my favorite modern times. I kind of like her other writing, but I will get back into this. I do want to continue with the series. Now, I want to continue my reread of the ACOTAR series. Court of Mist and Ruin, and these are the events that, I'm going to say her name is Freyra. I'm probably going to mess that up because of my dyslexia. This is her story after what happened in ACOTAR and the events of what happened under the mountain. That's all I'm going to say because it is a sequel, but I have read previously up to the 3rd book. I never continued on after the 3rd book, so I'm kind of doing a reread because I have the big 4th one up there that I would like to get to, but I have a feeling I'm not going to get to all of these. But if not, these big tomes could be read throughout the year. I'm not going to put so much pressure on myself. Now I have a list I want to read. I would like to get into the Diviner series. I own the first Diviner book and the second one. Even though the first one's not that big, but they get bigger as they go. I'd like to get more into that. Especially with the spooky season, I think it would be so much fun just to start one of the books in Halloween and see where we go. But even not, I might just read one in November because it's really good and it's been really popular, and maybe that's probably why I haven't picked it up, because I tend to get scared to read popular books because were they worth the hype? Was it worth the money I spent? And I only bought the 2 copies, but still I get really nervous going with hype books because if I do not like the hype book, and with books that are brand new, prices scare me. So I tend to try with when it's especially new releases is to go to the library. But if I've read previously from the author, I will just buy the book. But with the Diviners, I've not read Libba Bray's writing, but it sounded so good. I had to have the first 2. I was able to stop myself from getting 3 and 4. So hopefully by getting the first 2, I really love it and it wasn't a waste of money. I also have, this one is a historic fiction, and I like historic romances, but this one, I kind of got obsessed with the Tudors. I found the Netflix, it's not a Netflix original, but I found the show on Netflix. But it's Catherine of Aragon, the True Queen. I would like to read the histories about the wives. I think Catherine of Aragon is where the story starts, and I'd love to know more about their history, and it sounds so good that I would really absolutely enjoy it. Next on the list is The Sword of Kygen. It's a standalone romance fantasy, and it's huge, but I can't get it from my local library, so that is probably one I will have to splurge money on because it's something I really want to read, and I don't really read a lot of standalones, and I would really absolutely love to read it. The cover is amazing. I've loved it so much. The premise was good, even though I can't remember it on the top of my head. That's why I'm glad I had some of the books to talk about in front of you guys. All right, so the next one is My Country Mary, and that is a retelling. I do need to finish the My Calamity Jane. I need to get that one and read. I think I'll just check it out from the library. I do want to continue reading the Country Marys, the next retelling series from the Lady Janies. That's not their authors' names. On the top of my head, I can't remember, but this one connects to their first. I think it was the first one is like My Lady Jane, and those 2 stories connected, and I love seeing Mary in that first novel of that retelling. So I'm really excited to see what Mary's going on in Paris and how the magic system is. I wouldn't say magic, but they kind of transform into animals, if I remember. With My Lady Jane is that some people had the ability to turn into animals. So I'm excited to see her story with that in the French court. And then, well, I guess we've really talked about the other books on this list. There are a couple I can't think. Let me see. I do have Skyward as a reread and its sequel up there. I do have the next Akatar book. I have the next couple, Keeper of the Lost Cities. I need to keep going on with the Trials of Morrigan Crow series, because I'm going to do a reread of the Wondersmith, and I have Hollowpox, and I've never got to that, and that one's pretty big as well. But those are I'm going to say, yeah, those are some big ones. I'd like to read some Robin Hobb books. I own some, but they were not the covers that I was promised, so I'm going to haul them and get the covers I want. I do own Mad Ship, but you can't read well, the order to get a good reading order is to read The Assassin's Apprentice, The Royal Crest, or whatever in the first trilogy of that, and then read the Mad Ship Traders series. I was able to get the cover I wanted for Mad Ship or Ship of Magic. I didn't continue on buying them because I want to get the first three, and I'd like to do some reads of them. But those are some big books I have my interest in that I want to read. Talk to me down below if you have some big books on your TBRs. Sorry, I'm so tired. TBRs that you want to talk about, or some big books that are of interest that I don't have on this list, and maybe I'll look them up and see if I want to add them to this list. Alright, that's it for now, and I really enjoyed talking to you about these books, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.